Today's performance was what I've come to expect of the Black Men's Consortium. Being a cast member myself and being part of the process, right, we always bring the fire. And the fire was definitely in the room today.
Yeah, I found all the performance quite good. You know, I just came because my friend invited me, and I came to support my friend. He was one of the actors today. But honestly, all the performances very, very impacting, especially the one that my friend was in terms of him, you know, basically looking at the world, thinking everyone's against him, being, you know, lonely, all of these things that he's facing with. And then obviously the guy that was there was trying to help him and put him through it. And that's what many young people go through nowadays. So I found that very, very, very impactful.
One of the biggest things I got from it was that I found that somebody has my idea of recovery, the 5 weights.
Yeah.
So I was so elated by that.
I really loved how vulnerable the men were and how just this organization in general is so important, that men are allowing each other to just be fully human and to feel and to express themselves without any shame. And I like the fact that they're doing it themselves and not relying on women to have to do that emotional labor.
Excellent, as ever. I'm a follower now, or am I a groupie, or am I a fan? What am I? I don't know. I'm me.
The show was very informative. It was very interactive. I like that. I feel that Black people need to be more proactive, as in the change starts with you. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you want to do something, you do something. Don't talk about it. Be about it. That's where we have to be as Black people. You know like that?
In general, I liked all of it in the sense that it allows the male to the man to express his own self, and without anybody sort of saying that he couldn't express their own feelings in a way that they wanted to, and basically how society do kind of take our Black males and stereotype them as angry sort of Black men, that anytime they've expressing, you know, they're not being treated right, that, you know, they should be sectioned under mental kind of, you know, illness and stuff. So yes, I thought it was really good.
I enjoyed the performances. How they went. I would like to have seen it in a theatre because I couldn't see it, but I liked about the discussions about dementia. I particularly like the one about the angry Black man. To me, that showed a degree of intelligence, understanding the law and how to apply it.
Yeah, I think what spoke to me most was just to kind of hear from like other people's experiences about like how they found like certain things throughout their life, and what some circumstances have been like for them. Yeah, and like how that, you know, everybody's different. So yeah.
The performance is how dangerous the world can be, because some of these stories that came out today are based on some true experiences. That's where they come from. Most stories do. So, yes, you have to be alert and be wary, otherwise you could be in captivity, man.
I found it emotional, powerful, thought-provoking. A lot of it touched home with me. The one that comes to mind is the dementia. The scene where they were in the mental hospital. You know, I think the way it was touched on was so very powerful.
Really, really good. I really enjoyed it. Really, really enjoyed it.
Each sketch had its own message, and one that stood out to me as a mother, powerful words to your young sons.
Just amazing as ever. I think
we loved it.
We loved it, yeah.
You always try and come.
Yeah.
Every show is so different.
We've been following Black Men's Consortium for, I think, oh gosh, I did the sums earlier, 6 years now, and it's always something creative, extremely thought provoking. You know, it gets you to think about really, really, really difficult productive issues in lots of different ways. It's so engaging. Everyone's here and talking about it. So
creative and
absolutely, yeah.
it's great to see that art being performed.
And today was different to how the Watch Act Vote performances. There was lots of little bits and pieces, little vignettes, poems, and that's really, you know, another refreshing way to look at all of this.
Today, like even all of the performances, they speak on multiple levels. As my performance, I would say that parenthood isn't taken seriously as it should be by the parents themselves. I think that when you have love from not just both parents, but the family as well, then you can see a child, not like how I performed my character, because he was a depressed child. His mum didn't take him seriously. His mum hated him, basically. His mum wanted him to just die. But when you have children, you can't be having children just to have them for the sake of having them. If you are to have a child, you need to realize what you're getting yourself into. That's your life basically gone. You are a parent. There's no way around it. You either be a parent or your child goes towards social services and you suck at your job.
Mixed emotions. It was emotional. At points, it was triggering. A lot I felt I resonate with. And it gave me food for thought as well. But overall, all of them were absolutely amazing.
I thought the performance was brilliant. I thought the acting was brilliant. I thought that it was authentic, and the actors really delivered some real life messages. You know, the discussions afterwards were brilliant, thought provoking, and just raising awareness on subjects, issues that are real for us in our day to day. So I thought it was brilliant. We need more of this, you know. We need to talk about these things. It's something that I don't think Black men do enough. We don't allow space for Black men to talk, safe spaces for Black men to say, actually, I feel this way. Actually, I've got these things going on. Actually, I'm not as strong as you all think I am. So I just thought it was brilliant. I thought this is very, very important, this work.
On the whole, just the mere fact that it's a Black organization, or Black people talking their truth, standing in their Blackness, that's fine with me. That's we need more of such activities and more organizations putting on that, or making the general public aware of our perspectives. Yeah.
What stood out for me today was the content of the material that was spoken was very relevant. I thought it was well presented. I thought there were some really good speakers in this group, you know, really standout speakers. And I felt the energy in the room was fantastic.
For me, that question is so simple. There's one word which I don't hear used enough, as intergenerational relationships. Right? Too often, people of an older age may feel that they have the knowledge and the experience that then leads to them telling the younger generation what to do. But you can't have a one-way journey where you're not listening to the experiences of those who you're talking to. My belief is until the two voices become one, we will continue to miss the salient points which take us forward together. I promote intergenerational work as much as it can be, because in that word, I think we find a solution to your question.
Yeah, the fact that a lot of people actually think the same way as I do. But what I find as Black people, we as people, is that we let the women speak for us. And as Black men, we've got a voice. As much as it's a suppressed voice, man's got a voice. And man needs to be heard. And next to me as well, listen to your brothers. Not like, if my brethren told me to come here, like I said to them today, If my brethren told me to come here, I probably wouldn't come here. But my mum told me to come here. So I came here. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll probably say the community that was in the place there today. It's great to see a lot of people from different backgrounds, even though it's mainly for, black men we're reaching out to, but it's nice to see, women were there. We were seeing people of different races. So it was very nice to see, a nice community just come in to support. It's a great, event. Yeah.
First of all, they got to remove all the negative and toxic energy that's within inside them. Then the negative and toxic energy that surrounds them is going to disappear. Walk in a path of happiness. When the magic starts happening, don't resist it. It's not change people resist change. And once you can do that, then you're going to be a part of the solution and not a part of the problem for the next generation. You know what, brother? I've got to keep it moving. Not about blessings upon blessings to every single one of you.
Well, I think, I was saying to some of them earlier that, my generation and the older generation, they have this, like fathers don't hug their children. So now I've got my son-in-law, he hugs his son, kisses his son, and I find that generation, next generation, are being more embracing, loving, and I think if they encourage that and keep encouraging it, then along the line we'll all adapt the same sort of principle.
Don't know the answers. However, I'm part of a number of organizations, and what we generally tend to find is so much difficulty in actually connecting with the youth. So there's an initial problem there. Another problem is with the organizations that do this type of work. There's a very close connection with being funded and doing this type of work. So therefore, there's a way that so many of the people that do funding talk from the perspective of those that give the funding. And so therefore, it doesn't necessarily come out as real. We talk a certain way to get certain things, but not necessarily reflecting who we are. So, so I've said one problem is there's a disconnect. Two, there's a problem with funding and being able to talk our truths. I think another problem is not seeing enough of us in positions where we're actually talking and telling our truths. So a lot of guys will talk, but the dialogue often strays around macho-ness or things that maybe are not necessarily 100% what they need to be talking about, but it's quite deflective. And understanding us in terms of the society that we're in, i.e., we're living in a country that has colonized our thoughts, colonized our minds, and actually actively colonizes our resources in order to fund their society. And, no one, doesn't matter what school or how educated you are, nobody's going to give you a thumbs up for analyzing that. In fact, the whole schooling system, the university system, and the whole working system will actually tell you that I'm talking crap, but we know the reality is I'm not talking crap. That's the reality. And how you get that across, how you put that into books, how you put that or feed that back into the younger generation, or even our own generation, let alone younger generation, is really difficult. So in general, I'm saying no easy answers, but we have to keep doing what we're doing.
What I would say is that people always follow what looks cool or looks fun. So if they're seeing people that are doing things that are wrong and it looks cool and fun, naturally they're gonna want to do it as well. You want to do what's fun and you want to have fun yourself. So I think all we can really do is show that you don't have to be doing what other people are doing that's deemed fun for you to. Okay, you can't just be doing what everyone else is doing. You have to be able to be your own person, be able to make your own decisions, and just
The first thing is to get black men here. Now, I think to go off and tell somebody, oh, I went somewhere and this is what I saw, the likelihood that they're going to come is that likely it's not going to be very high. But getting them here, that is the first thing, you know, but it's a matter of how to get them here. I think the young man who spoke, and he said he came here because of the person that he loved. It was his mum. I think that would be a start. If the person values you, they will come here.
I think we should first of all start to, well, we do have a bit more respect for each other, because we hear about all the crime that's going out on there and black people killing black people and all kind of madness. So if we could have a bit more respect for each other, also a bit understanding about history, that will bring in who you are and what you are instead of something that you're not.
Education, education, education. You know, talk to one another, go to schools, get involved in things, you know, share information about what's going on in the community.
The intelligence one spoke to me. And the reason why it spoke to me is I've often said that we have to be better. We have to understand how the rules work and how to apply them. And sometimes ranting and raving is not effective. I'm not saying it's not important. I'm not saying we don't have it. What I'm saying, it's not effective. And sometimes you have to learn how to show the anger in smaller spaces, because in this country, the colonizers, using the term from Black Panther, because that's what they did and that's what they are, they get scared, and we don't want to scare them too early. All we're looking for is equality and equity.
Please promote your things in the church. That's where you need to go, yeah? Black church.
Oh, wow, the honesty, the all of that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Amazing as always.
Just the message from each sketch. They have very clear messages.
I'm always going to remember that poem. That would definitely the highlight for me.
What really resonated with me, I think, was the scripted demonstration around the young man and his mental health.
So the performances were great, but I think the video of the BMC, having that insight into what the meetings look like, you know, the things that the men are sharing, they feel emotionally safe enough to be vulnerable. I think that was very brave of the members of the BMC, and I think it's very helpful. I think that needs to get out there, because I think more black men would, you know, we know that black men are going through things. We know that, you know, in this society, in UK, British society, black men are suffering. So I think that, you know, that stood out to me, that there are black men who are standing up saying, look, we're doing it. Come and join us. Come and get the help you need. Come and share. Come and be in community. There's help here. So, yeah.
All of it did. I think there was the scene about with dementia that hit home, because obviously it's things I can relate to. But also the comment that was made with the young boys and the mental health, and am I your brother's keeper? That stuck out for me. It was absolutely amazing. Keep up the good work.